If it's a nail biter, that can only mean one thing. Peach Belt Conference basketball is in full swing in Columbus, GA. Now it's the men's turn after the CSU women put together a fine showing against the Lander Bearcats. The men will try and do the very same thing. At the Frank G. Lumpkin Center in Columbus, Georgia, it's the Columbus State Cougars and the Lander Bearcats in PBC basketball action. Hello, everybody. Will DeBoer courtside at Herbert Green Court. Lady Cougars victorious 78-74, as you just saw on this very network. Now it's the men's turn to try and get off the schneid themselves. Columbus State comes into this one ranked 25th in the country, inching down the polls, but not entirely out of it just yet. 12-3, 6-2 in the Peach Belt Conference. That's third in the PBC West Division, coming off of a loss on Saturday at Augusta by a score of 81-77. They will face the number one team in the east of the PBC, the Lander Bearcats. 12-5 overall, 6-2 in league play. Also coming off a tough overtime loss at home against Montevallo, 73-69. Coach Robert Moore joined us for a pre-game chat. Let's take a listen to what he has to say about his opponents today. It's a rare Tuesday night match for the Lumpkin Center as Columbus State takes on Lander University. We got Cougar head coach Robert Moore with us. Coach, tough loss on Saturday at that House of Horrors called Augusta. What did you tell your team to do to respond to a loss like that?
More than anything, in this league, let one loss leads to 2 or 3 in a row. I've seen it happen before. It has happened to one of my teams before. You just got to stay strong, learn from your mistakes in the last game at Augusta, and just be ready to take care home tonight against Lander. We just try to use some positives. I thought we got some great looks late in the game, just couldn't make the shot. We got to do a better job of boxing out, rebounding. We went over that the last couple of days of practice. Just play our game. It was just a tough game for us. We lost. We just got to move on.
Now, someone who didn't really have a tough game, who had a very good game, actually, was Brentine Taylor. He seems like he is really emerging, coming out hot out of the winter break.
Oh, yeah. We just got to tell Brentine, play more minutes. We felt like he was not in top shape going into the break. He seemed like he's in better shape now. He's just got to give us more minutes, stay on the floor longer, and, get those rebounds that we're not getting right now. And I think he's the key guy to doing that, and especially with DeMarcus McVeigh being out tonight with an injury. So we're going to be looking for Brentine to give some big minutes tonight.
Absolutely. And then big minutes, hopefully, from Cam Baker, who was in foul trouble all through Saturday's game. I know that must kill him to be on the bench in such crucial spots in the game.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was the key to the game when Cam Baker went out with his 4th foul, and then he finally went back in and he got his 5th one pretty quick. I think looking at the stat sheet, he only played like 21 minutes. And when your best player, your point guard who runs the show, doesn't play but 21 minutes and you playing 19 minutes without him, that's pretty tough. And it was a tough situation for us. But, I thought Maddie Sigerdarson did a great job of running the offense. We saw some things from him that can help us down the stretch. But Cam got to be on the floor.
Yeah, especially it puts the stress on the bench players who aren't used to seeing that many minutes. Now, you only used 8 players in the entire game on Saturday. With McVeigh being out tonight, it's only going to be 7 of those guys. What kind of stress does that put on them, knowing that they've got to play a lot more minutes than is expected of them?
I think our guys are in great shape, so it shouldn't be that much strain on them. Lander going to come in and play 9 or 10 guys, and we have some other guys on that bench that can step up and help us. So if we have to go that deep down in our bench, we can. It's just a matter of just staying focused and keeping the key guys in the game. And I might have to use my timeouts a little more, those kind of things. But I think our guys are in great shape, so it should be an interesting ball game tonight.
Absolutely. Against the Lander Bearcat team, one of the top defenses in the Peach Belt Conference, second in scoring defense. What do you plan to do to penetrate that wall that is the Bearcat defense?
Well, they do a great job of changing their defenses. They do a lot of zone defenses and go back to 2-3 zones. Sometimes they'll go back man. We got to get out in transition. Cam just got to get the ball and go and try to make them guard 94 feet instead of just guarding on the half-court side of the ball. And I think if we can get our transition game going by getting some rebounds and getting out and running, I think we'll be fine. And that's what we got to do. We got to put them into a track meet because they like to slow the game down, take it possession by possession, and that's not how we like to play. We like to get up and down.
If you're talking about track meets there, J.R. Washington, their top sprinter, one of the top scorers in the PBC, but you've seen him now twice last year.
Mm-hmm.
This will be the third time in a calendar year, so you think the third time's the charm in stopping him?
Oh, yeah, he's a tough player. You can't give him any open looks. And just noticing on film this year, he puts the ball on the floor a little bit better this year. He gets to the rim. He's added some things to his game. But, we think we got some good defenders with Brent Jackson, Darren Daniel, those kind of guys that are long and athletic that can guard him. So we just got to make sure we locate him in transition and make sure he don't get any easy catches.
Last time Lander was here was the PBC quarterfinals last year. That epic comeback by Columbus State in the final 2.5 minutes. I'm sure Lander's going to be hungry for revenge. What do you guys got to do to keep the intensity up and match them?
Yeah, we talk to our guys about it all the time. It's all about building a program. And I think during that game last year, D'Angelo Kirkland, who's playing basketball now in Argentina, hit the game-winning shot. We just got to keep staying focused and don't get in those situations by taking care of the basketball early in the game and doing the things right from beginning to start. And I think once we do that, we can be fine. So we just got to come in here with the mindset that we got to get a win tonight here on our home court.
Cougars looking to bounce back against a recent rival. Should be one heck of a game. Coach, thanks and good luck.
All right, thank you.
Robert Moore, the sixth-year head coach for Columbus State, going after win 91 tonight against the Lander Bears. Public address again, the injury notes. DeMarcus McVeigh is out today, and a couple of jersey notes to make you aware of. Ja'Cory Yane, who usually wears number 1, is wearing number 30 tonight in the red uniforms. And Marcus Dixon, who's 24 in your scorebook, is now 21 tonight. Here's Brian Solito with the lineups. Your starting lineups for Columbus State, the standard: Payne, Daniel, Baker, Taylor, and the senior Brent Jackson. For Lander, Pose, Washington, Purdy, Smith, and Elder. Columbus State is at the Lumpkin Center. One of the finer crowds we've had in the last couple of years on Herbert Green Court. Here to witness their Cougars do battle with the Lander Bearcats for the 48th time in this series history. Columbus State one-sided a big lead in the overall series, 31-16 overall, 14-5 right here in Columbus, either at Woodruff Gymnasium or here in the Lumpkin Center. Elder and Taylor to tip off, red and blue. And here we go. We are underway from Columbus, GA. Taylor controls the tip. Here comes Cam Baker, the senior from right here in the CSG. Driving to the basket, he is immediately rejected straight up by Sergio Smith, the junior post from Dorchester, South Carolina. Lander wearing the navy blue uniforms with the gold and white trim. Brentine Taylor with a move in the post. Goes up against Elder and wins for the second time in about 15 seconds. First the tip and then the opening basket of the game. Brentine Taylor, a fine effort in a losing effort against Augusta on Saturday. 13 points and 7 rebounds. This is J.R. Washington, the one to watch for the Bearcats. Now a dish out, there's Rahu Purdy. Coming inside, lefty Tobias Hose misses with the jumper. Rebound pulled down by Brentine Taylor. Here's Ja'Cory Payne wearing that number 30 tonight. Again, Payne is wearing 30 instead of 1 in these red uniforms. Baker on the right wing gives out to Payne to run the paint. Last time CSU wore these red uniforms at home, back in December of 14, they beat Coastal Georgia by double digits. Baker with 6 to shoot, charging in on Washington. Pulls up, swatted out of the air, and here's J.R. Washington chasing it down. They're going to call a shot clock violation. They say nobody had possession of the ball, and that shot did not hit iron, so it will be Lander basketball. Again, Lander in these blue uniforms, sort of Los Angeles Lakers style font of their name, as Rahu Purdy, the freshman guard out of White Oak, North Carolina. Purdy has started all 17 games so far this season for the Bearcats, so making an immediate impact in this, his rookie year of college basketball. Inside the post to Scott Elder, the Aussie. Spin move on Taylor, hooks it to the left, and the rebound pulled down, Darren Daniel. In transition, here's Ja'Cory Payne, waits for his soldiers. Daniel, top of the circle. Cam Baker looking for something. They get it inside to Taylor. Here's Payne, extra pass, Jackson, left wing, right off the top of the backboard. Taylor gets the offensive rebound, and the ball will stay in Columbus's court. Well, this is the matchup you expect to see the fireworks of Columbus's offense against the lockdown defense of Lander. CSU averaging a Peach Belt high 88.6 points per game. Lander allowing just 68.4 points per game. That is second in the conference. Jackson with 2 to shoot on the shot clock. Push it just to the left, and the rebound is pulled down by Hose. We've seen this in a few Super Bowls in the past. The top offense against the top defense. In that sport, the defense is usually the one to win. We'll see if we can make similar comparisons in this game. If so, it's trouble for the Cougars of Columbus State. First foul of the game goes against Ja'Cory Payne. And the inbound coming in from the Bearcats. 17:42 to play, just one basket in this game. Taylor scored 15 seconds in. It's been goose eggs ever since. And it's still goose eggs as a shot too strong by Sergio Smith. Here is Baker in transition. Cam Baker, 2 on 3, takes it himself to the rack, and he lays it in. The explosiveness of Cam Baker. Robert Moore called him perhaps the greatest offensive player to don a Columbus State uniform. He spoke those words with confidence, and you can see why with a reason like that. Baker with his first field goal, and Columbus State's up 4-0. Open jumper, good, 12-foot. Scott Elder, if you're going to give him that shot, he'll make it all day. And there goes the shutout for Moore's bunch. 4-2 is your score. 3 minutes into this contest. Baker on a screen, easy bucket. A defensive breakdown for Lander. They forgot about the most important man on the court for the Cougars. The 20-point per game laureate, Cam Baker. He's got 4, and it's a 6-2 Columbus lead. Sergio Smith. Now it's Purdy. Purdy from the point, works into the right corner. They swing it around to Hose. Tobias Hose works around mid-adjustment air on Taylor, and he lays it in. Tobias Hose, the senior wing from Brunswick, Georgia, averaging 13.3 points per game. He's on the board. Lander's back within 2. Ja'Cory Payne, too strong on the jumper from 15 foot. Here come the Bearcats. Hose working on Payne. He's got a couple of inches. That's not just counting the flat top. And he gets the unfavorable bounce. Offensive rebound by Lander. They can't really do much with it. And that's because Taylor knocked it out of bounds. We'll have substitutions. Tyree King coming onto the court after our first media timeout. 15:58 to play in the first half. Columbus State 6 and Lander 4 on Cougar Sports TV. Back on Cougar Sports TV. 4 and change gone in the first half. The lead's a deuce for Columbus State. Robert Moore, the 6th-year head coach for CSU, had his finest year last year, 22-8. An overtime loss shy of a Peach Belt Conference championship, and he went to the NCAA tournament for the second time. On the other side for the Bearcats, a fresh face, Steve Roberts, named back in April the 5th head coach in Lander Bearcat history. 13 years he spent as Lander's assistant coach before wandering off campus last year to be an assistant at Presbyterian, the D1 school in South Carolina. Comes back to his alma mater. He graduated from Lander in 1984, played on a team that averaged 19 wins per season when Roberts was in uniform. 3rd in Bearcat history in games played, 125 in his career. I'm sure it's a thrill for him to finally be coaching his alma mater after all these years. He's coaching them pretty well so far. Mid-January, a lead in the PBC East. Athletic move there. J.R. Washington put just a little too much mustard on the reverse layup, and there for the rebound is Scott Elder. An accidental assist for J.R. Washington that time. He misses his first field goal attempt of the game, and Lander has tied it. 4 points for Elder, the big man from Perth, Australia. Cam Baker in the right corner, right in front of the scorer's table, and press row. Baker drives, dribbles out. Darren Daniel off the mark on the 3-ball attempt. The rebound pulled down Washington. Lander with numbers forward. It's a 4-on-2. They look like a 4 horsemen, don't they? Here's Tobias Hose. Well, Lander, they play that lockdown defense. They need to play it because they don't really have the offensive numbers to stand up with the Cougars if it gets into a game of shots. And Tobias Hose drawing contact. Basket counts that time, and Lander is in the lead for the first time today. Hose is going to have a chance for a 3-point play. Quite athletic, the senior from Brunswick, Georgia. Making his 2nd start in a row for the Bearcats. The last game against Montevallo was his first start for Steve Roberts' bunch since the end of November. So getting a second chance at the starting lineup, and he's making it pay off, at least in the early get-go. 8-6 is the Lander lead. 14 and change to go in the first half. Columbus State trying to penetrate. Brent Jackson goes in, out, gets it to Daniel. Around the Aussie, and he lays it off the glass. Darren Daniel must have taken a physics class at some point. His first basket, and Columbus State has tied it. Back and forth for the first 6 minutes, just like it was 10.5 months ago on this very court in the Peach Belt Tournament quarterfinals. We'll get to that after Jackson's steal. Jackson taking himself. Dish out to Daniel. 3. No. Rebound by Washington. Boy, he got up high for that one. Yes, the last matchup was March 1st of 2015 in this building. The Peach Belt quarters. Columbus State 77, Lander 76. CSU found themselves in monster holes throughout the second half. And Arvin Kamaj is whistled for the contact on Scott Elder. Arvin knows that he swatted the left wrist of Elder, and he'll send Scott to the free throw line. Arvin Kamaj fresh into the game after that timeout in place of Brentine Taylor. Elder with his first free throw attempt. Shanks it short. Scott on the season, shooting just 57% from the line. Now Maddie Sigurdarsson fresh into the game for Columbus State, the Icelandic national with the slick hair. He must have just gotten it cut. Elder makes one of two. And the Bearcat lead is one. Once again, 5 points for Scott Elder. Columbus State 77-76 winners 10.5 months ago. They found themselves down 58-48 with under 10 to go. They got within two, and then they fell right back behind again, 66-58, an 8-point deficit with 2:40 to go. Robert Moore mentioned in the pregame, D'Angelo Kirkland hit a big three ball with about 2.5 minutes to go to turn the tie of that game. Columbus State ties it, takes the lead in the final minute, and ends up advancing. And Cam Baker drains it from way downtown. Beautiful shot from the senior from Columbus. Kendrick High School graduate. Got to watch all last season from the bench. Now he's contributing, and boy, is he having fun doing it. 7 points already for Baker. He averages nearly 20. And a scoop and a score that time for Tyree King. He goes over the catapulted arms of Arvin Kamaj, and Lander ties it once again, 11-all. Columbus State, that 14-0 run over the nearly final 2 minutes of the game, as Baker counted in the foul. Cam Baker taking it hard to the rack. And he gets the foul against Scott Elder. First foul against the big man. Chance for a three-point play for Baker as Darren Daniel comes out and Brentine Taylor enters into the game for the Bearcats. We see Telvin Gabriel, number 21, as well as the return of Tobias Hose. Cam Baker, overall uber shooter, 81% from the free throw line. That is very high in the Peach Belt rankings. And he drains a three-point play for Cam the old-fashioned way. Columbus State up 14-11. CSU used that monster comeback, their 6th of the season like that. My goodness, it was not a good year for people with heart situations to watch those cardiac Cougars last year. Got all the way to the Peach Belt Finals and into the NCAA tournament as a big rejection from Brentine Taylor. Columbus State with numbers forward. Maddie Sigurdarsson right wing into the corner. Jackson pump fake baseline out to Taylor. Taylor one-handed jam. Oh wow! That brings the crowd aloud. A sea of red night. Everybody getting excited on that dunk from Brentine Taylor. Assist to Jackson. Lander will have a chance to answer with a couple of free throws. Taylor, he's just 6'5", but he is so strong in the paint. Makes up for that lack of height with the brute sheer force. And he brutalates that one down. I don't think that's a word, but I'm going to say it anyway as we go into our media timeout, under 12. 11:58 remaining in the first half. Columbus State 16-11. Leaders over Lander here on Sea of Red Night on Cougar Sports TV. There's Rehu Purdy. And he drives in and gets it. Purdy with his first bucket of the game. Lander back within one. Baker, step back jumper, yes. Boy, it's going to be Cam Baker's night. You can just feel it. 12 points in the first 8.5 minutes. 12 points for Baker. Already well on his way to his average of 20 points. He put in 41 against Georgia Southwestern a couple weeks ago. Maddie Sigurdarsson getting in the face of Purdy, and he causes a tough shot. Here come the Cougars. Dish out to Maddie, and his foot was on the line. It was almost Sigurd Arsen's moment right there in transition. He just wasn't aware of where his foot was. Sigurd Arsen from Reykjavik, Iceland. Transferred from Flagler College. One of 2 Icelandic nationals in the Columbus Day Athletic Program. The other one, Hugrun Elversdottir of the national runner-up CSU women's soccer team. See Jan Flick, the coach of that team, in the crowd today, along with many of the other athletic coaches here at Columbus State, and a good portion of students as well. 11 to shoot for the Bearcats coming up. It's a very sizable crowd. The Student Athletic Committee getting the word out on Sea of Red night. Everybody coming in to fill in the lower bowl here at Columbus. Herbert Green Court at the Lumpkin Center. 7 to shoot now. Here's Washington still scoreless. 4 to shoot. J.R. Washington from way downtown. Well short. Rebound comes to Brent Jackson. And halfway through the first half, J.R. Washington is still scoreless. Brent Jackson, athletic move, count it! Brent Jackson, great ball control, and that's how you get yourself off the schneid. A couple of nifty moves, go hard to the rack, and have a chance for an and one. Brent Jackson, the senior leader from Fountain, Colorado, transferred from Tabor College. The only Cougar on roster to see action in that PBC quarterfinal matchup 10.5 months ago. 9 seniors on that team. Obviously, they all graduated as Jackson completes the 3-point play. It's 21-15, Cougars in the lead. Brent scored 7 points in 28 minutes for the Cougars in that matchup. He did much better in the team's first meeting last year, 364 days ago. January 20th in Greenville, South Carolina. Columbus State, much more comfortable winners in that one, 80-65. Washington baseline, 18-foot jumper is good, and J.R. Washington with his first field goal. Washington in the quarterfinal matchup scored 31 points, 11 of 18 shooting, including 6 of 8 from beyond the arc. Cam Baker, touch strong, rattles out, and here come the Bearcats. 21-18 as Taylor plays whack-a-ball that time and whacks it out of bounds. It'll stay with the Bearcats. Subs for CSU, Daniel and Payne back in for Lander. Scott Elder coming from off the bench after a quick rest. Washington inbounds, 24 to shoot for the Bearcats. 9 and change to play in the first half. The dish out. Extra pass to Washington. Washington goes inside, overshoots his target, Elder. Here's Ja'Cory Payne in transition. Payne lost his handle on it. A good reason he was interfered with by Tyree King. Foul goes against King. It's his first foul. 3rd team foul against the Bearcats. 4 for Columbus State. So a relatively clean first half from both sides. Baker inbounds to Ja'Cory Payne. Arbin Kamaj also into the game now. Brentine Taylor gets the errant pass. Point blank, and he misses, and the rebound goes to Hose and Lander. Hose taking it himself, beats Kamaj, beats the bucket as well. He gets it over, and in the flurry of bodies, they're going to get Arbin Kamaj for another foul. For Arbin, it's foul number 2 and the 5th team foul. It will send Hose to the line once again. Tobias Hose, 13 points and 7 rebounds. One of the top performers for this Lander Bearcats squad. As Brent Jackson's in now in place of Arbin Kamaj. Hose had season highs of 23 points in both games right before the Christmas break. Road contests against Clayton State and Georgia Southwestern. 23 points in each game. And he hits both of his free throws. Hose leading scorer. He has got 8 for the Bearcats. And the lead is back within 1. Columbus State 21-20. 9 minutes to play in the first half. Cam Baker calling for some help. Here's Ja'Cory Payne. Baker baseline. Daniel, jumper. Too weak. Favorable roll to Brent Jackson for the offensive board. Now Payne for three. Off the mark. Ja'Cory scoreless so far today in his new number. Maybe it's too heavy on his back. Lander with a chance to take the lead. And they just do not, but the offensive rebound pulled down and missed point blank range. That's Matthew McLean. But it goes in. That was McLean with the second and third chances, and the third time is a charm for McLean. His first points, and Lander's up one. Their first lead since it was 9-8. Jackson, screen set Taylor. Going back to Brentine, the give and go. Stop, pop, yes. Brentine Taylor. Advantage of his size. Yes, he's got the strength to go down low, and he's also got the angle to hit those mid-range jumpers. Taylor with 6 points at Columbus State, back in the lead. Perth, double team. They get it out to Hose. Hose beats Taylor. Lays it off the glass and good. Tobias Hose picking up the slack for J.R. Washington and Lander. Washington still with just 3 points. Cam Baker tried to adjust midair. Draws contact, and he'll go to the free throw line when we come back from our media timeout. The foul goes against Elder. That's number 2, so he'll probably take a bench when we come back. 7:39 to play in the first half. Lander 24, Columbus State 23. You're watching CSU basketball here on Cougar Sports TV. Back on Cougar Sports TV, Columbus State down 24-23, looking to take the lead as Cam Baker steps up to the free throw line. Well, it's been Cam Baker and not much else for CSU in the first 12 odd minutes of this ball game. Baker 5 for 8 from the floor with 12 points. Columbus State, who is not Baker, 5 for 15 with the other 11 points. So Cam Baker outscoring his teammates right now. He can look to add to his total at the free throw line right now. And he does. 13 points now for the senior from Kendrick High School. All by city, all region, all state. Cam Baker, the stuff of legends in this part of the state. Makes both of his free throws. His 1 year playing for Coach Robert Moore, making the most of it so far. Lander not shooting the ball particularly well either. They're shooting 9 of 21 from the floor. Tobias Hose, 3 of 6 on his own. The rest of the team, 6 for 15. So it's been a battle of Hose and Baker. And not much else here in this matchup between the top-ranked team in the East and the third-ranked team in the West of the Peach Belt Conference. From the corner is Hose. Got it. No, that was Washington. That was J.R. Washington coming alive for his first try of the game. It's a 2-point lead now for Lander. And reach-in foul goes against, it looked like McLean. No, they're going to get Sergio Smith for that foul instead. 5th foul against Lander. 2 fouls against Scott Elder, who's on the bench right now. Darren Daniel had to adjust midair. And there's another foul going against Sergio Smith. So in the span of about 5 seconds, Sergio Smith goes from not much trouble at all to quite a bit of foul trouble. I'm sure that's enough to drive Steve Roberts up the wall. Now it's Darren Daniels to the free throw line. Another local star, Phoenix City, Alabama, a Central High School graduate, drains his first free throw. Went out west to play football at Stanford at the beginning of his college athletics career. took the long way around, ended up playing for the indoor Columbus Lions last year, winning an indoor football championship. Realized he had one more year of eligibility and came here to Columbus State to play for Robert Moore. And he hits both free throws. 4 for Daniel, and we're tied 27 all, under 7 to play in the first half. There's Hose adjusting midair. Are they going to count it? I can't see why they wouldn't. Yes, they will. Tobias Hose going hard to the bucket, falling hard to the floor and taking the hard basket. Tobias Hose, the chance for a three-point play. He's got 12 already in this game. The chance to give Lander its largest lead of the contest. And he does not. Brentine Taylor with the rebound. 29-27. Columbus State down. They can tie with a 2, take a lead with a 3. Cam Baker bringing up 14 points for Baker, 13 for the rest of the Cougar offense. Taylor inside, posting up, spin move, adjusts midair, and it just doesn't roll out. The cotton candy machine roll, but it falls to the ground. And Brentine Taylor will have free throws to shoot. Foul goes against Telvin Gabriel. He's got 2 fouls as well. And Brentine too strong on his first attempt. Taylor just a 59% free throw shooter on the season. When he's not at the stripe, he's the top shooter in the Peach Belt Conference. That's no exaggeration. 64% from the floor, leads everybody in the PBC. He is potent when he's close, and he rattles that one home. Brentine Taylor, 1 of 2 free throws. Cougars back within 1. It's 29-28. Gabriel looking for some help. Gets it off to Purdy. Purdy, the freshman, guarded by Payne, the sophomore. Purdy, juke move on Daniel. Did he drag his foot? Ref says no. McLean inside with a one-handed jam. Matthew McLean, he bumped into Brentine Taylor. And the ref's going to have a word with them. Taylor has gotten into a couple of spats earlier this season. Just warnings from the official that time, as you saw McLean bump his shoulder against Brentine Taylor. Taylor must have given him the look, and the official says, no, I'm going to stop this storm before it can develop into a Cat 5. Keep it a Cat 1 for the moment. Baker for 3. No. Taylor reaching for the board. He can't get it. It's Gabriel who comes down with it. Gabriel, the forward from Lawrenceville, a junior. Here's McLean. Daniel on him. Purdy dribbles it off his foot. Here's Taylor. 3-on-1 rush. Brent Jackson going up. Layup. Yes. Jackson thought about the windmill dunk. Instead, he takes the easy points. Brent with his second basket. He's got 5. 31-30. Lander's lead is just 1. McLean working against Daniel. Yeah, keep as much space between him and Taylor as you can. Hose for 3. Off the mark to the right, and the rebound for Darren Daniel. The starters on the floor for Columbus State. Payne for 3. Got it! Ja'Cory Payne off the schneid. His first bucket is a tray. Matching the first digit on the back of his jersey tonight, and Columbus State takes the lead again at 33-31. McLean. Taylor coming up on him. Look out for fireworks. McLean, foot on the line. Well, strong. Jackson juggles it. Somehow gets it to Cam Baker. Here come the Cougars. Cam working in. Nice move. Nice layup. Cam Baker, so deceptive. Lightning quick with his moves. 16 points in the first half. And that's going to force Steve Roberts to take a timeout. And we will step aside. 35-31. Cam Baker putting on a show. He could get halfway to 40 in this first half. We'll come back and see here on Cougar Sports TV. Back on Cougar Sports TV. Steve Roberts giving some instructions to his team, the first-year head coach for Lander, as they try and get back in, down 35-31. Robert Moore's bunch trying to keep that lead and add to it as we head close to the halftime whistle. Stop and pop off the front of the iron by Travis Frediman, who's fresh into the game. Washington misaligned the shot, and the rebound coming for Ja'Cory Payne. J.R. Washington been held in check for the most part, except right then, speak of the devil, and he shall dunk on you. J.R. Washington drawing the ire of the fans behind me. Washington's got 8. And he is back on track. Lander back within a field goal. Washington, a junior wing from Manassas, Virginia, site of a famous Civil War battle. Taylor. Baker, spin move. Couldn't quite get the acrobatics down that time. Daniel with the offensive rebound, dribbles it off his foot. And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touch by Lander. Telvin Gabriel was laying on the line when he touched the ball, and that will take us into our under 4 media timeout. Last media of the first half, 3:34 to play. 35-33 is your Cougar lead here on Cougar Sports TV, your online home for Columbus State Athletics. Back on Cougar Sports TV, Will DeBoer with you courtside at the Lumpkin Center. Sea of Red night. Columbus State trying to ride a wave into halftime in the lead. 35-33 is the lead for Columbus State. Cam Baker with 16 of those 35 points. He's shooting 6 for 11. The rest of the team 7 of 17. All in all, it adds up to a 46.4 percentage. Not bad, but it's off the mark for the top shooting team in the Peach Belt Conference. The Cougars shooting at .505 on the season, over 50%. Taylor's spin move goes inside, whistle. I'm going to count this one. It looked like it was goaltending, and yes, they will call a goaltending, and Brentine Taylor with a bucket, and he'll have a chance for a three-point play. Well, if Cam Baker's been the headliner tonight, Brentine Taylor's been second billed. Taylor with 9 points has a chance to get himself into double figures right now. And he does. Taylor with 10 the first half. You can add to that 3 rebounds for him and 1 blocked shot. It's the Baker and Taylor show. 26 of the 38 points for Columbus State as they're up 38-33 with 3 and change to play in the first half. Going inside now is Hose, who's posting up on Daniel. Turnaround jumper, wild jumper, and it rattles home. Favorable bounce for Tobias Hose. Well, when things are going right, they're going right. 14 points for Tobias. The lead is cut to 3. Here is number 3 for CSU, Cam Baker. Now inside, Taylor. Fouled. They're going to get Telvin Gabriel. That's his 3rd foul of the first half. I've got to imagine Steve Roberts will sit him down. Taylor with a 1-and-1. Well, Brentine getting more than his fair share of minutes as he misses the front end. Again, DeMarcus McVeigh injured for this game. He is not dressed tonight. And then Arvin Kamaj, the other big man for CSU, in a spot of foul trouble. But Taylor, to his credit, just 1 foul to him, putting together a very solid first half. Offensive foul And that's the 4th against Telvin Gabriel. 10th foul against the Lander Bearcats. Double bonus coming up for CSU on the next defensive foul. And now Gabriel will sit down. McLean comes in for him. Telvin Gabriel only averages about 6 minutes per contest, and I can't imagine he'll see many more minutes now. 4 fouls in the first half. Columbus State in the double bonus for the last 2 minutes and 12 seconds of the opening salvo. Cam Baker looking for the extra pass. Columbus State not shooting terribly against Lander's top 2 defense in the PBC. And they're going to get Cam Baker for leaning with his shoulder. You can't do that in football. You can't do that in basketball either. Offensive foul against Cam. And for a man who played just 21 minutes in the last game with foul trouble, a welcome sight for Robert Moore that his first foul comes with just 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Hose working against Daniel. Frediman, step back, too strong. Rebound, wrestled away by Brentine Taylor. He ate his spinach this morning, absolutely. Darren Daniel working inside. Crafty move, finger roll. I'll take that with a side of wasabi. Darren Daniel with 6 points now. Columbus State back up 5. 2 weak on the jumper for Gerard Coleman. And the rebound going the other way for Columbus State. 40-35. 75 seconds remaining in the first half. Brent Jackson. Baker, 16 points. Can he add more fuel to the fire in the last minute of the first half? Halftime, Lumpkin Center will honor the national runner-up women's soccer team here at Columbus State as Jackson well short on his jumper. Here come the Bearcats, chance to cut it back to a one-possession game. They've been down as much as 5, but the Bearcats hanging tough. And they'll take those open shots when they get them. J.R. Washington, 2 threes for him in this game, 11 points. It's a 2-point deficit for the Bearcats. And Ja'Cory Payne stops his dribble. He just has to hand it off to Cam Baker. A nice crafty defensive move by Travis Frediman, the Meridian Community College transfer. And now Robert Moore will take his first time out. 27.2 seconds remaining in the first half. We will stay with you all the way till halftime here on Cougar Sports TV. Sea of Red night. And Cam Baker and Brentine Taylor have been dueling surfing here on that Sea of Red. 16-10 for Baker and Taylor. Rest of the Cougar squad with just 14 points. But 6 for Darren Daniel, 5 for Brent Jackson, 3 for Ja'Cory Payne. And that is it. The scoring has been limited to the starting lineup for Columbus State. Robert Moore played just 8 against Augusta on Saturday. One of those men not available in this game, that is DeMarcus McVeigh. Starters have been taxed, but they have stayed out of foul trouble, to their credit. Just 7 fouls against CSU in the first half, and 2 of them have gone against the bench man, Arbin Kamaj. 12 to shoot now. Ja'Cory's going to run it down. About a 6-second difference between shot and game clock. 7 to shoot. Ja'Cory, top of the circle. 3 ball. Yes! Ja'Cory Payne with a dagger right before the half. 6 seconds for Lander to answer. Here comes Frediman. Frediman working against Tobias. Well, air ball shot for Jared Coleman. And Columbus State will enter halftime with a 5-point cushion. 43-38. CSU in the lead. Cam Baker, 16 points to lead the way for CSU. Brentine Taylor close behind on the other side for Lander. Tobias Hose with 14, 11 for J.R. Washington. Now we'll head to halftime here. Just a program notes, an extended halftime as we have a special presentation by some guys who apparently have Superman blood in them. They're going to fly through the air and dunk basketballs. A 20-minute halftime, so come back with us in approximately 18 minutes, and we will be back for the last half of the ball game. Quite a thriller in the Lumpkin Center on a Tuesday night. What else are you going to do on a Tuesday but watch Columbus State basketball 43-38 here on Cougar Sports TV.
It was late August, and I was going up the stairs to the bedroom. I stopped, and I had to sit down on the stairs because my knee had this horrible twinge in it. Then when I put my arm down, I felt it in my elbow, and I was like, man, what is going on with me? So we went to the doctor the next day, had a blood test, and then the next morning, my mom woke me up and said, hey, we got to go to the hospital. We were there for about 7 hours, kept getting tests and retests and everything, pretty much ensuring diagnosis that they hoped wasn't going to happen. The doctor came out with tears in her eyes, and she said, you have leukemia, it's cancer of the blood, and for at least the next 6 months, your life is going to be flipped upside down. You will not be able to go to school, you can't go home, you have to immediately go to the hospital. After being diagnosed on August 27th of 2010 with leukemia, I went through 14 months of intensive chemotherapy and cranial brain radiation. I was diagnosed with a bone disease called avascular necrosis, typically known as AVN. I later had a bone decompression surgery on my left knee and left hip and a bilateral hip replacement at 20 years old. I went through countless months of rehabilitation and chemotherapy, had intrathecal drugs injected into my spine, drugs like prednisone, dexamethasone, daunorubicin, vincristine, and the list goes on. The one thing that I craved the most was normalcy. I just wanted to be treated normal, I wanted to do normal things, and for me, normal was baseball. People say, oh, well, you're now going to go to school and you're going to be a doctor, and or you're going to try to be a doctor, and all these good things have come out of it. Would you ever go back and would you say not to have cancer? Yeah, of course I would. I don't want, it is the most horrible, worst thing that has ever happened to me, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Before every national anthem, I always took an extra second, an extra moment, and just kind of took it all in and reminded myself that tomorrow's never guaranteed and you're never guaranteed another game. So enjoy every second you get out here, every pitch that you get to throw. No matter what the outcome is, just be happy you're out here.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
I used to come and watch Columbus State play. Sometimes my mom and dad used to bring me in and watch them. So I've been here for quite a good bit of time. I didn't know anybody on the team when I was coming to watch play, so just coming to watch basketball. Probably around my junior year, that's when Coach Moore came and watched me play at Kendrick, and a lot of schools were trying to get me to come play at their schools, a lot of junior colleges, but I really didn't want to go away too far away from home, so that's why I made my mind that I probably come to Columbus State.
I saw Cam Baker play in high school at Kendrick High School about 4 or 5 years ago. I always thought he had a great skill set to be a good basketball player, and I felt like academically he could do some things to make himself better on and off the court. Cam decided to go to junior college, which I thought was a good move for him academically and also athletically. And you can just tell he just put a lot of work into the game, into his game. Shooting the ball a whole lot better now than he did in high school, understanding to involve his teammates a little bit more. I think all those things have evolved in his game over the years. We really do a good job of trying to get into the local high schools and have those guys come play for us. We feel like CSU is one of the top, educational institutions in the country. So why go far away from home when you come right in your backyard?
Last year was kind of hard. I had to sit out, couldn't play basketball. I was just coming to practice, and coach always telling me to keep my head up, all this kind of stuff. Stuff, athletes really don't want to hear because you're not playing. But I stayed with it, came to practice, gave it my all, and now, coach promised me that it all pay off, and it is paying off now.
It was a good and bad. As a coach, you wanted this guy, you wanted Cam to play in games, but in practices, we just told him to go as hard as he can and just think about next season going against him in practice every day. Our guys had to guard better. He's quick and athletic, so it made you get back in transition defense, those kind of things. So even though he was not part of the team as far as the wins and losses last year, I thought he was a big part of why we had some success because he pushed those guys in practice.
Just being in the gym every day, outside of practice, you have to practice outside of practice. Practice can't be the only time you're in the gym. So, I like to get up some shots outside of practice at local recs around Columbus and stuff like that, and I feel like that helps me keep my game going. A lot of guys from high school, people reading the newspaper, always staying on top of me about my game and stuff. So, yeah, I like going to recs because people like to challenge me and stuff.
I'd love to hear that because, I'm from Macon, Georgia, but I call Columbus, Georgia my home. I was born in Macon. I just love to see, hometown guys have some success here at the university. Cam has really made things easier for us to recruit guys here in Columbus because he's having so much success and he loves playing here. He loves his teammates. So we're looking to have more guys come out and play for Columbus State University. But, Cam is the poster, what you want to say, poster child for it. And we're glad to have him. We're glad he's not playing for any other team in our conference.
It really feels good. Like every home game before the game, I get like jitters because I know my name's coming, and as soon as I come through the lineup, everybody scream. I hear my mom screaming, my dad screaming. So it feels real good to be able to come back home and play for your home city and stuff. So I really enjoy it.
From right here in the CSG, number 3, Cam Baker.
A regional university earning lots of national attention, Columbus State University now attracts students from every county in Georgia. And with more than $60 million worth of campus upgrades, record enrollment, phenomenal community support, and unprecedented opportunities for students, it's easy to see why. At Columbus State, it's about you, your future, your creativity, your success. See why more and more students are making Columbus State University their first choice.
Hi, I am Nakia Guy. Columbus State University was my first choice.
My name is Chloe, and Columbus State University was my first choice.
My name is Matthew Little, and Columbus State University is my first choice.
We are the Phillipses,
and Columbus State University is our first choice.
Town, gown, campus, community. What benefits one benefits the other. Columbus State University has called Columbus home for over 50 years. In that time, CSU and Columbus have become forward-thinking and innovative places to learn, live, work, and play. A world-class institution in a jewel of a city. What was founded as a community college is now a global presence, a first-choice institution, a destination, an engine of education and leadership that will help foster and forge the future, not just of our region, but of friends, supporters, and partners have helped us get to where we are today. With your continued support and generosity, just imagine where CSU will be tomorrow. We have a vision. We know exactly where and how we want to maintain growth. And bringing that vision to life is what our First Choice campaign is all about. This is the largest comprehensive campaign in Columbus State University's history, with a goal of $100 million. Investments in this effort will not only change the face of the university, this campaign will build on past successes and continue to change the face of Columbus. Unprecedented financial support will be provided to increase the total number of professorships, bolstering a faculty and staff already comprised of passionate professors and forward-thinking administrators. We will continue our efforts to attract first-choice students, young minds that are driven in their ambition for and commitment to academic excellence. The CSU Fund will make the college experience even more memorable and worthwhile through its philanthropic support of student scholarships, first-choice academic programs, community outreach, student and faculty development, and opportunities for advancement. And there will also be growth, further endowments of our prestigious servant leadership program, and the creation of a new honors college will not only see our student body grow in number, but also in quality. The campus itself will grow. The College of Education and Health Professions is moving downtown, extending the footprint of River Park campus. The Beau Bartlett Center at Columbus State University's College of the Arts in Uptown Columbus is also soon to open downtown. Next to Lenore Hall on the main campus, private gifts have helped secure state funding for a new lab sciences building that will soon give students an even more immersive learning experience. And new facilities for nationally competitive golf and baseball programs will soon be made available to student athletes at the Key Golf Studio. And transformation of Cougar Field into Burger King Stadium at Ragsdale Field. This campaign is about so much more than CSU maintaining our reputation as a first-choice institution. It is about solidifying, strengthening, and expanding the scope and stature of our academic institution. It is about further bolstering the community we call home and leaving a lasting impression in the Southeast. All of this will happen. It will happen because of you, our friends and family, our alumni and our donors, our leaders of business, and our patrons of the arts. It was our public-private partnership that convinced the state of Georgia to found Columbus College over 50 years ago. And that same public-private partnership will endow Columbus State University with the necessary community, political, and financial support to reach our goals. Lofty goals, yes. But as a first-choice institution in a destination city, we should never settle for second best.